Hello, my name is Jack Sweeney. I'm an Assistant Attorney General for the state of Wisconsin, and I'm also privileged to be a part of the Dane County Bar Mentorship Program. Our mentorship program is named after Joseph A. Melly, who together with Josh Kine-Keppel started our mentorship program 10 years ago. And during that time, we've paired more than 250 mentors and mentees. So approximately 500 people have been through our program. And at the end of each year, what we do is poll the mentors and the mentees. And what I'm going to do here today is to give you some of the feedback that we've gotten from the mentors and the mentees. I am simply passing on the things that we have been told. Initially, I'd like to say we recommend, and I believe the State Bar Program also recommends, that the mentors and the mentees get together at least once a month. And you can do a variety of different things, go for coffee, go for lunch, go for dinner or a beer, and generally talk about what is of interest. And it's always important to remember that this program is designed for the mentees. So in a sense, wherever the mentees want to take the program, the mentor can and should follow. Although the mentor is there to provide some guidance to the mentee and also to be a source of information. And one of the things that the mentors and the mentees tell us is, number one, plan on getting together once a month, at least. That first meeting is very important, and both the mentor and the mentee should come to the table with ideas about what they're going to do during the coming year. And by the way, we've had several pairs, mentors and mentees, who've continued for more than 1 year because they've gotten along so well. At this first meeting, the mentor should realize that the mentee has probably not been in this situation before. Certainly not as a new attorney. Sometimes in law school there are mentorship programs, but in this case we have 2 lawyers, one experienced and one not so experienced. So the mentors, be aware that your mentee is probably very nervous. He or she isn't sure what this program is about, but they've taken the chance to share in your experiences and to learn from you. We suggest, and we've been told by mentors and mentees, it's best to get out of the office and to turn off your cell phone so there are no other distractions during the time the mentor and the mentee are speaking. There's nothing more, I guess, disheartening for a mentee to be put on hold when the mentor has to take an important phone call. So work your schedule out so you've got time for one another, and there's nothing that's going to interfere with your communication. And the mentors tell us a very good idea is to get to know the mentee and understand that we all weren't born lawyers. And there was a life that we led before we went to law school and became lawyers. So find out about this mentee that's sitting across the table, drinking a cup of coffee. And what we hear from the mentees to the mentors is let the mentee talk. I know experienced attorneys always feel that they've got a handle on everything and they've got some great stories that they want to impart to the mentee. But 3 words, listen, listen, listen. And let the mentee, for a period of time, decide where you're going to go with this conversation. You have a lot of great war stories, experienced attorneys. I know you do. I've heard most of them, and the mentee has heard most of them also. So let the mentee talk and follow that person. And one of the mentees told us, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. That should tell us something. One of the things the mentors can do, particularly for someone who's new to the community, is to point out things beyond the practice of law that are enjoyable. If you're in a city that happens to have a 2 or a 4-year college arrangement and the mentee is new to that city, you as the mentor can give that person some guidance as to how he or she can integrate themselves into the community. And if it's someone, for example, in Madison or Milwaukee who's been to school there, it's still a good idea for the mentor to let the mentee know, here's what's going on in the community, here's something you might be interested in. A note to the mentors, you're not there to help the mentees litigate a particular case. You're not there to be a teacher in the sense of teachers in law school. That's something that the mentees will learn in either in their own practice or in their law firm. And mentees, don't come to your mentors and say, what do I do with this case? You've got to do more homework than that, and the purpose of the program is not for the mentor to take over the mentee's legal practice. Suggestion for the mentors. There are a lot of things the mentees can teach us. There's a lot of new electronics. There are a lot of new phones. We would suggest, and other mentors have profited from this, is every meeting ask your mentee if he or she would teach a new trick with your phone, your laptop, or your computer, and then a word of advice, go back to your office and write down what the mentee told you. It's not always going to work, but we can learn something from the mentees. It's important that the mentor and the mentee start off on the right foot. And in order to do that, we've found that it's a good idea for each of them to write down what their goals are for the time that they will be in this relationship. And certainly the mentor and the mentee can exchange that information with one another, and they can use this checklist, so to speak, to see how they're coming in their relationship. First and foremost, for the mentee, understand that you're dealing with a lawyer who's experienced. He or she has probably been in the practice of law for a number of years, and it's up to you as the mentee to be sure that you stay on schedule, to be sure that you call the mentor and arrange for your next get-together. Some of the mentors and mentees have told us they try at that first meeting to set out a series of meetings once a month for the next 9 months or 12 months, however long their program is going to go. And they recommend that the mentee make that his or her main responsibility. And if the mentor is too busy to get back to you, keep at it, because some of the best mentor-mentee relationships that we've seen in our program is when the mentee makes it a point every month to be sure that he or she meets with his or her mentor. And many mentees have told us they've enjoyed tremendously doing things such as going to a deposition. Most young lawyers have never seen a deposition. You have to make some kind of arrangements with all the people, but there's nothing that would prevent a mentee from sitting in on a deposition. The same is true with court proceedings. If the experienced attorney, if the mentor and or his or her firm have court dates, most young attorneys have never been to court and they've never seen a motion, they've never seen a trial. And it's a very good opportunity for mentees to see actually what goes on in the courtroom. And one of the very good suggestions we've had is that 2 or more mentors get together and take their mentees out to lunch, out for coffee, and the mentors and mentees in a group can then exchange ideas about whatever the two pairs are talking about. In Madison, we have 4 meetings per year where we have a speaker who talks to all the mentors and mentees, and it gives everyone in the program the opportunity to exchange ideas, and for us, that's worked very well. And in some situations, we've found, for whatever reason, things don't go well between the mentor and the mentee. And if that's the case, we simply say, give it up, we'll pair you with another mentor, we'll pair you with another mentee. And one of the things the worst things we've seen is a couple goes through the year and they only meet once or twice, and they don't let us know about it. And I think the State Bar will take that situation and make it better by finding you another mentee or a mentor. I'm going to read you just a couple quotes that the mentors and the mentees have given to us. And here's a quote from a new lawyer who says, keep an open mind and be willing to listen. She says, my mentor did more listening than talking and was able to hone in on many things that I would not have picked up on. He gave great advice and had real life experiences to show. This is important, she said. And another mentee expressing an idea I mentioned earlier, keep in mind that your mentee is likely terrified of you and terrified of the mentor program. Mr. Mentor, Miss Mentor, be willing to share your personal and professional experiences, the mistakes you made when you first started to practice law, and what you like and what you don't like about the profession. It's important for the mentors, obviously, to be optimistic, to be supportive, and to follow the mentee in where he or she is going. One of the mentees commented, don't take yourself so seriously, have fun. Introduce the new lawyers to different activities that are going on in the community. And that's particularly true in towns where cities and towns where the mentee is new to the community. To the mentors, we say, yes, you can tell war stories, but realize the mentee does not want to hear your war stories at each and every get-together, because very often the stories don't change. We all know that. And advice for the mentor, act like a real person, not a professor, not a partner in the firm. Just be real. Don't talk to your mentee for hours on end. Have a conversation, which means both the mentor and the mentee are speaking to one another. Understand from the beginning that this mentor-mentee situation is a confidential situation, and that's important for the mentee, so that he or she knows the mentor is not going back to the office, get on the phone, and calling the legal community, telling them what's right and what's wrong about his or her firm. And two of the most, two things we hear most often is the mentee asking about office politics, and that can mean a variety of things. Obviously, most mentees have not been in the office, a law office, for long, and whatever they need to do to balance what's called office politics, the mentor can be a good source of information. And probably the second most frequent question that we've heard in our program is, how does the mentee relate to the support staff in the office? And mentors, I think, to the person will say, your support staff in whatever type of practice you have is the heart and soul of your practice. And you treat your support staff as if they were kings or queens, because as they go, so will go your practice. As I said, we've been very pleased with the mentoring program in Dane County, and it's because mentors there initially are very happy to be called and said, will you be a mentor for someone in your area of expertise? And the mentee is also very happy to participate because this is a new experience for them and an opportunity to improve their practice. Now, we hope your experience goes as well as ours does. If you have questions, the State Bar is here to help, and we're also here to help people from around the state. And I'm going to give you a name, a law firm, and a number that you can contact if you have any specific questions. And this is my co-chair and co-founder of the Dane County Mentorship Program, Josh Kine-Keppel, who practices in Sun Prairie. There's Josh's information. I'll let that sit for a little bit, and if you have any specific questions, just about any time of day, Josh will get back to you right away. He loves his participation in the mentorship program. He's done a wonderful job, and we're very proud of the program, and we look forward to working with the State Bar in their new mentorship program. Thank you.